Yes, a very good morning to the children, to all the children actually. So, keeping in view the pandemic situation, the E-class, which has been, it's an initiative taken by Burdwan Model School for providing uninterrupted educational service, and following that tradition, we are here to facilitate you. And it's a request to all the children that do follow the classes which are being taken or being conducted by the various teachers, because when we see that, we find that the number of viewers are very less. Remember, whatever we are doing for your betterment, dear, and it's for you, you should have to follow them. Clear? Whatever classes, whichever teacher, it's a request from my side and all the teachers of BMS that please view all the classes according to your own class, according to the subject, view the classes, because we are finding that the number of viewers is very less. So what happens, what the endeavor, the work which we have taken up, you can see that we are coming to school, teachers are coming to school. So what happens, the reason why we have taken up this initiative, it gets defeated. So it's a request from entire BMS family that all the teachers that please do watch the classes of your respective teacher and your respective subject and your respective class. And with that, I start with class 12, class 12 arts. Welcome back. We were talking about the chapter on politics of planned development. And if you remember, the other day I have written down the challenges which the government had to face immediately after independence, and the name of the chapters, if you see, they have been arranged so beautifully according to the challenges which have been faced. So the first challenge, that is nation building, we have already done. Second chapter I have given you in very brief, because this is not going to be a part of your syllabus as per the CBSE curriculum till date. I don't know whether there is going to be another further changes or not. So I have talked about that, how the first election commission of India had actually planned for the first election, which was conducted by 1952, started from 1951, completed by 1952, and the first government was the first democratic government with Jawaharlal Nehru as its prime minister was established. And then I came across that the main this topic of discussion was now that the third challenge, that is what model of development should India take up immediately after independence. So in this respect, I have given you that there were two particular options open before India. One was that of the capitalist model followed by USA, and that of a socialist model followed by USSR. So what did India do? India did not stick to a particular plan. And what did it do? It had combined the features of both the models of development, and they have proceeded in this direction. And in this respect, I will tell you one more thing, that was about the Bombay Plan. It took place in the 1940s, where a good group of industrialists in India, especially, they have chalked out a plan of development. That was 1940s and 1950s, they have chalked out a plan of development. That is what industrialists in Bombay, they have planned out, that what are the ways they are going to prepare, or they are going to take up the development of India. And this particular thing is known as the Bombay Plan. So the Bombay Plan can come as a 1 marks question or as a 2 marks question for you. Another one which can come as a short question to you is that the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission in India, it was formed in 1950. So you can get a short question from here, that the Planning Commission in India was formed by 1950, and what was the main work of this Planning Commission? The main work of the Planning Commission was to decide or the way development in India should proceed. So in that respect, we have seen that what did India do? India had taken up a 5-year plan, and in this 5-year plan, This 5-year plan, I have told you that this model of 5-year plan development was taken from USSR. That means it was it was a socialist in its approach, and the first 5-year plan started by 1952. It was focused on agricultural development, and another 5-year plan which started on 1957. That is, it started in 1957, and the focus of the second 5-year plan was industrial development, rapid industrial development. And this time the focus of the second 5-year plan was completely socialist in nature. Socialist means all the development of the industries were actually given in the hands of the public sector. That means public sector means the government sector, and it is at this juncture you can see that some of the greatest of industries in India had developed, and they were like the railways, as you know, the iron and steel, then you have electricity and things like that. These big sector, public sector industries had actually developed. Now this 5-year plan, the second 5-year plan, was put under huge controversy because people, most of them, I have told you the name of two big thinkers. One was J.C. Kumarappa, and then I have told you about Chaudhary Charan Singh also. He was both of them were senior Congress leaders, but later on Chaudhary Charan Singh, he broke away from Congress and he formed another party which was known as the Bharatiya Lok Dal. Clear? So, the second 5-year plan was put under huge criticism because they said that as India is an agricultural country, and after the second 5-year plan, what had happened, you know, there was huge food crisis. And so in order to, people were there, industries were growing up, and there was huge food crisis because agricultural production, you know, it suffered a setback. So India is a land of poverty. You know that it's a developing country, a huge amount of people under poverty line. So what happened? People were suffering food. There was shortage of food. So according to many people, they were of the view that the main focus should be on the development of agriculture. Although industries should be there, but these industries must be in the hands of, these industries must be actually, they should be based on agricultural development. So now you come to see that there was a lot of controversy with regard to the second 5-year plan. Obviously, there were groups who believed that as India has suffered 200 years of colonialism, so rapid industrialization was necessary. Now, in this respect, another controversy came up was whether public sector versus private sector. Public means government sector versus private, you know, private means personal enterprises. Here also a mixed model. That means neither it was completely a private sector, based on private sector, neither it was based on a public sector enterprise. It followed a mixed economic pattern. Mixed economy. Certain sectors were handed over to the government and certain sectors were provided to the private sector. Clear? Now we will see that what were the major outcomes of the development plans. What were the major outcomes? We know that there was a lot of controversy. Although there were a lot of controversies that the 5-year plan was not proper, it resulted in food crisis, industrial development at this rate was not needed for a country like India, which is mainly agricultural and where the poverty level is very high. But even then you come to know that some of the greatest, I'll tell you, projects were formed in India were actually a result or outcome of this 5-year plans. And in this respect, first of all, I'll tell you the development of the mega dams in India during this time. Some of the mega dams were constructed. What were the mega dams? You have heard about the Bhakra project. It's it is the biggest dam in India. The Bhakra over the Satluj river. Then you have the Hirakud project, Hirakud dam over the river Mahanadi. And these dams, it facilitated in which way? These dams, actually it provided water for irrigation. The main advantages of these dams was that it provided these dams, it provided water for irrigation. Then together with that, hydroelectricity was produced. Then it became some source of other communication. Then many other benefits were actually brought about because of the development of these big projects under the 5-year plans. So 5-year plans, you cannot say that they have gone in vain, and some of the greatest developments had actually taken place, and like mega dams were constructed, which were created in this way. And now we will see with regard to land reforms. What were the steps taken by the developmental model with regard to land reforms? It was said that no constructive land reform policies were taken up during this time. Yes, this is very true, that during this period of planned development, no measures were taken for bringing out development or taking out proper initiatives for land development, land reforms. But in fact, one major thing took place, which was that abolition of the colonial system of Zamindari. This was one of the greatest developments which had actually taken place, that the abolition of the colonial system of Zamindari, which happened, what would happen in this colonial Zamindari system? All the lands were in the hands of the British, and these zamindars, what they used to do, they used to collect revenues from the poor farmers. Even during times when famine was there, there was a great crisis, they used to collect money from them. And what happened? These poor farmers, unable to do anything, they used to unable to pay these taxes, they used to fly away. That means they used to run away from their places because of the tortures of the zamindars. And one more thing which had happened was that these were the two major developments. Another one was accumulation of land. That means there were many farmers in India who had small agricultural holdings. Agricultural holdings means small farms. So what happens when you go for farming in a small land? Your effort will be the same, your time will be the same, but the output or the product would have been less. So in order to overcome them, what the government decided that to take the land from all the farmers, small farmers, put them together, and then agriculture would be carried on a large scale. So what would happen? Huge amount of agricultural production could have been done. These were the two great steps which were taken for the development of the agricultural production. Yes, in this respect, I will tell you about one more thing which had happened, which was the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution, this was another initiative taken by the government in the 1970s and the 80s mostly, and it was the Green Revolution. That means to create, green means development of agriculture. This was a plan which was taken up, And for what? For the development of agriculture, which included a high yielding variety of seeds, that means seeds which could produce better quality of agricultural products. Then proper irrigation facilities were included, then better pesticides, better fertilizers, these are, and many other things like this were used in order to boost up agricultural production. Yes, it had boosted up agricultural production, but mainly in one sector, one particular product, one particular crop was very effectively boosted up production of that particular crop, and that was wheat. Wheat, you know, because of this green revolution, wheat production had increased to a large extent, especially in the areas of western parts of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab. These were the areas which were benefited by the green revolution. But unfortunately, you see that it was actually meant for the whole country. All the farmers were not benefited because of this. It was mainly the farmers of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab. You know, farmers of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Haryana, they are already farmers who were producing in large scales. They were not small farmers. They had produced in over a large scale from long time. And so what happened, you know, again the benefit which had been done was which was actually enjoyed, they were mainly enjoyed by this people and the farmers of this particular area, and mainly in the production of wheat. So the aims with which the green revolution had been formed, it could not fulfill the entire criteria. So all the parts of the country were not benefited, and we can see that the developmental policies for bringing about development in India did not move in the direction, or did not bring out the desired outcomes. So next day I am going to complete this chapter. Please be there. Till then, thank you.